All right, so I got a game here called Zombicide. Right? It's not what we're talking about today, though. But I'm going to open it up and I'm going to show you something about these games. So what we got? We got the manual. We got... Oh, look at this. Look at this. We got all these pieces. Oh, look at that. Oh, they're all over the table. Oh, God. Now we got minis. Oh, wait. Oh, just willy-nilly flung in there. Nice. You know there's answers to all this.
You're talking about, like, third-party board games.
Third-party gaming accessories. Everybody. Game companies should actually be, and there are some that do, that have caught on to this. You buy, like, the first-gen edition of, say, pretty much a lot of the indie games. The second-gen one is way more organized, has little neat containers. Like Zombicide, they got their minis. At least they got their minis all nice and neat. But why not just have a spot for all the pieces? So anyway. What Scythe? Does Scythe have it?
Yes.
Is it all nice and neat in Scythe?
So Scythe has
I actually made those.
a box you can buy.
Okay. Why? Why not just build it into the game?
Because the box houses the main game and all the expansions.
I just dumped this all over you.
It came out after all the expansions were released.
So it was one of those. It was one of those things where they're like, "We're just gonna make a game that, oh crap, maybe we should make it cool." And they did it, which is good. That's what companies need to do. I think we need more of that. Tell me I'm wrong. You can't, because I'm right. Okay, podcast over. Let's do this.
So
yeah,
there's a pretty impressive board game out there.
Yep.
I want to talk about a couple of them.
Yep.
First one is the Firefly board game.
Okay. Never played it.
I'm just going to get some statistics on it quick.
Okay. Then we'll talk about Gloomhaven. What a hot mess that is.
Well, I'm going to bring up the two I'm on.
Okay. Yep. No, let's do those. Let's do them.
So, Firefly board.
Why don't they have token holders? Like, it's not that hard to press more plastic out, you nerds. Sorry, Zombicide. You're a good game, but your developers hated you. Except for the minis. They like the minis.
So, I've played it once in my life.
Right.
On Christmas Eve.
Back in 1972.
No, we used to do Christmas Eve board game nights. Mm-hmm. For all the people that didn't have family around or whatever like that, you get the random stragglers that came in, and we'd do board games on Christmas Eve. Actually, a pretty good idea.
Yeah, no, it's a great idea, actually. I like that.
And I played Firefly board game, and I don't know how many expansions there are. The board game was huge.
Right.
And the guy that had the game had an MDF.
Talking about.
Yeah. Had an MDF organizer for the whole game.
Got you.
And it made setup easy.
A million times easier.
Very easy.
Yep.
It took what was probably a 30-minute setup and made it just simple.
Which is huge in the aftermarket world. There's people on Etsy that are making things like this for almost every major board game out there. And it's wonderful. What I don't understand is, and I get it, maybe these companies want these people to have jobs. I understand that. I get it. But wouldn't it be nice to buy, say, like, we'll take Gloomhaven, for instance. And I know you're going to get back to the other game while you're searching that. Gloomhaven, $39 game?
Yep.
Weighs 23 pounds or 25 pounds.
Yep.
You open it up. It takes you an hour. Well, the first time you open up, it takes you hours to sort through the crap.
Okay.
And it takes you an hour just to set the first game up.
Yep.
At least. And then if you set up the second game, it takes you an hour, it's pretty much an hour. Then you play for an hour or two, and then you have to take everything apart. And then you're back to another. Like, if I had any qualms about board games that were huge, that's one of them. They should have just made it easier. Like you said, your buddy, that guy,
yep,
that friend of the family, whatever it was. Like, aftermarket, man. Like, spend some money, creators of these games.
Nowadays, they make MDF organizers for a lot of games.
Yep. Yeah, I've seen that on Etsy.
Yeah, Etsy's
tempted to buy a lot of them, or 3D printing ones.
Or 3D printed inserts for the game box.
Yep.
So, one of the games that definitely needs this, I'm going to say a couple.
Yep.
I don't know if you've ever heard of this game, but it's kind of a juggernaut in the gaming industry.
Okay.
Known as one of the longest, most complicated games ever made.
Oh boy, here we go.
Twilight Imperium.
I've heard of it, yes.
I
think I might actually have it on a video game console system.
Probably. But it's one of the just most complicated games you can ever play. And what it needs is organization.
Right, something just to simplify the setup of the game.
Now, the sad part is, this is about a $170 board game.
Oh, geez.
Retail.
Okay.
And it doesn't come with, like, very good organizers.
Right.
And they're in their 4th edition.
Oh, man. See, evolution, man. Companies, hear the podcast, do the due diligence, spend a few extra bucks making it nice. I have my sister-in-law, my brother-in-law, whatever. They make board games. They've made a couple of them. They've been published, and I think we have one here.
Chibi Heroes, right?
Chibi Heroes, yep. They've also made Mana, the Mana game that I have over there. That one wasn't, the box was definitely not set, but they sold the rights to that, so they don't actually publish that one. They own Chibi Heroes still. The first time it came out, though, it's still not 100% better, but it's a little better. The first time it came out, pieces were just flat. There was no organization. Yeah. And they were horrified because, like, the company that they had do that was supposed to make it so that you could put all your parts in certain spots, and that would have been that. But they didn't, so they had to send it back and manually pull out all the little plastic inserts and put them in all, like, their 3,000 printings they had of it. Yeah, they had to do it manually because they didn't want to send it back to the company. It would cost them X more thousands of dollars. And then they got it, and it still wasn't perfect, but they're like, well, it's way better than what it was. Yeah. So I guess that's kind of what I wanted to talk about today, was just that whole evolution. Like, should companies do it themselves up front? I think yes in some cases, and no in some other cases. Like Catan, that's fine because you have a lot of pieces, but if you ever looked on Etsy or eBay or any of those places, there's whole websites dedicated to modding Catan.
Oh, really?
Like thousands of different types of terrain pieces you can print out, or you can have made already, and they just send them to you, and you can it makes your board game look cool.
Okay.
So,
well, that's a pretty big thing too. I know Scythe, Stoneblade, right. Stonemaier,
yeah, Stonemaier, yeah.
Stonemaier, yeah.
Yep, they made a Catan too, I think.
Did they?
Yeah.
I know they made
not Catan, Charterstone. Sorry, I was looking at Charterstone and Catan word was right there. So.
Stonemaier has a bunch of accessories you can get. Yep. Like I have the metal tokens.
Nice.
For all of the resources, and I used to have the metal coins, but I don't know what happened to all of them.
Oh.
I'm just gonna have to reorder them. And they were relatively cheap. They were like $30.
Right, that's not too bad. I kind of like that. I think
and it increases the longevity of the game because your pieces aren't
right. Yeah, and if you ever decide that you need a few bucks one day, you're moving from one town to another, and you don't want to haul everything with you. Like I know I would pay up for metal coins, metal parts, fancier tokens. I mean, I literally would. I would pay if someone offered to give me an organizer for Gloomhaven that I didn't have to print out myself or try and find myself. I'd pay them better money.
Okay.
Instead of $130 for that board game, I'd buy that board game for $200. Maybe
well, not only that, but an organizer also probably increases the longevity of the game.
Oh, yeah.
If your cards are in a box, look at Magic.
Yep.
You get the guy that keeps the deck in his pocket.
With a rubber band. Oh, I hate that so bad.
And then you got the guy that's sleeved with deck boxes.
Then you got that guy who, when he's shuffling his cards,
ripple shuffles.
He ripple shuffles. Then
yeah.
I don't know who that would be. And you can look on his deck, and every one of his deck has the corners like this. Yeah. Every one of them.
Yeah.
I wonder who does that.
I don't know.
He gives me stress is what he does. Although, you know what, he's pretty good at Magic, so he can do what he wants. It's his cards.
Yeah. The other one I would like to mention is Axis and Allies.
Yes.
Egregiously organized.
God. Well, at least they had the little trays. The little plastic trays.
Not in the old editions.
I don't know how old edition. I have one from when I was a kid. And it has... They weren't organized trays. They were just like literally... Maybe the wrong game. Maybe I'm thinking of something else. I bet you I'm thinking of Risk.
Yeah, you're probably thinking of Risk.
Maybe a little cardboard box that you could just throw your parts in. I don't know. It's terrible, though, because nothing would stay put at all. Mm-hmm. And you'd open up the game and all the pieces. So at the beginning of the game, here's what we would do. We'd dump everything on the table. Everybody get a pile. Because if there are 4 players, each player got a pile. And they'd sort by color and style. Yeah. And then they'd ship them to wherever they needed to go. Because it was a group effort if you wanted to play the game.
And if you want a cheap alternative... to like the MDF and inserts.
Ziploc bags.
Well, Ziploc bags work. But a lot of games now come with little plastic bags.
Yeah. That's nice. Yeah, I've noticed that.
And keeping stuff in little plastic bags and keeping things organized, all your cards in one spot. Please don't rubber band your cards. For the love of God. I don't care how messy it is, whatever.
Just don't put the rubber band
Don't put the rubber band on it.
I've actually turned people away when they bring in their cards. And I see he pulls a bottom. There's a guy, and I know he stole them, but that's irrelevant. He brought in probably $2,000, $3,000, $5,000 worth of cards. They're a nice bundle, but they were like dual lands. I mean, expensive cards.
Yeah.
He pulls them out of his hoodie. He has his hoodie up too, so I don't know. So my camera wouldn't catch him or whatever. But all the cards are wrapped up with a rubber band. And I knew it immediately at that point. That guy was not a gamer.
Right.
At least not a real one.
Yeah.
Hey, can I get some money for these cards? I'm like, what? Let me see what they are. And I'm looking through. I'm like, oh my God, these are expensive.
Yeah.
But rubber band them, man. No respect for the card. If he knew how valuable they were, he would have never rubber banded them.
Right. You spent the $3 to get a cheap deck box.
Yeah, he would. Yes, or even a Ziploc bag. I mean,
or binders.
Or binders. Yeah.
A lot of work to put stuff in binders, but
getting card sleeves too. That's kind of a nice accessory. I noticed that. Like I've got. If you haven't played the game yet, one day we will. But if you play any deck builder games, like Legendary, for instance,
Sentinels,
Ascension, Sentinels. I got my mom. She owns all the Legendary stuff there is. But when she started playing, I'm like, Mom, because I knew she was going to be cracked out over this.
Yeah.
And she is. She plays it every day, at least once a day.
Wow.
Yeah. I said, buy card sleeves. Well, but that's going to get expensive. Yes, it will. I promise you, you're going to hate having card sleeves on every card after a while. Because every time you're going to go out, get a new game, you're going to have to buy 2 packs of card sleeves at least. But you'll be able to play the game for almost indefinite amounts of time. Because your cards aren't going to get damaged. They're not going to get ruined. They're not going to get spilled on. They're not going to get wore out because you're shuffling them.
Yeah.
And when the card sleeves go bad, you throw the sleeves away and get new ones.
Yep. Or play mats is another one.
Yeah, play mats. And so she's been completely happy with the card sleeves. In fact, I think it's one of her favorite things she's ever done to a board game before. Because she has a board game she had when she was a kid that she played thousands and thousands of times, but you barely, it's like picking up the ancient Dead Sea Scrolls. You're like, can I move that over there without it falling apart? So taking care of your stuff is important. Card sleeves and play mats are very important.
I've also started in my tabletop role-playing games laminating reference sheets.
Yep. That's nice.
And you can get a laminator for pretty cheap, to be honest.
Yeah, I think I bought the Purple Cow one that we use here probably 15 years ago for like $12.99 on Amazon. And it just does what it's supposed to do. That's all it does. I don't need it to do anything else, but it just goes.
Yep.
So yeah, laminating, MDF, go to Etsy, check it out. I would almost guarantee any mainstream game, lots of the odd games, especially if they're bigger ones, somebody out there has made sorters for them.
And the other way to look at this is, let's take Scythe. We've been using Scythe as
Scythe's a good one, yep.
So the setup time for Scythe, I don't have an organizer for it. I do have everything pretty neatly organized in the box.
Right.
But it takes me 20, 25 minutes to set it up. If I had everything in organizers, it would take me 10 minutes.
Right, because it would already be ready. You wouldn't have to do any organizing. You just could...
And when you get really good at the game, you can play a game pretty fast.
Yep.
So the idea is, if you cut down your setup time,
you can play it more.
You can play it more.
Right.
You might be able to get 2 games.
Yeah, you might be able to play 2 games instead of just 1 game. Because it takes, half hour setup, half hour takedown, so there's another hour out of your life gone. But if you could cut that in half, then you got another half hour you could play, which means you could play potentially another game.
Yep.
Well, I agree.
One of the major benefits of it too. That and the longevity.
Yeah.
You don't have to buy another copy of the game later on.
No, because you take Scythe's not a cheap game; it's a $100 game. The bait core is $100.
Yeah.
Or 79 was it? That's 100. I think it was 100.
$69.99.
Was it $69.99?
That's when I bought it.
Yeah, well, it's probably close to 100 now, I would guess. Anything that's a bigger game with lots of pieces, $70 to $100 is almost your guaranteed. And you know what? Who wants to keep paying that for something where all they do is spend a few more bucks? And now that they can work on new boxes for some of these games. That would be really nice. Because I'll use Gloomhaven again. That box is so encumbered and heavy. I taped it up the day I got it. Yeah. So I knew that flimsy cardboard wasn't going to hold up to that weight.
Right.
So I taped up the corners to keep them solid. But then when you go to pull it off, the suction of air, because there's no...
Yeah.
So I drilled a hole in the top of the box.
That's the best thing you can do.
Like, you just drill a hole. But I know that... I'll use Legendary again. There's a guy on Etsy, at least one company, probably multiples, but he takes these art boxes from Hobby Lobby, and they're $29.99. They're big wooden boxes. I don't have one. I have one back there behind the counter, and he'll laser etch the top with the Legendary logo.
Yep.
Then he makes all the inserts to sort everything.
Yep.
And so you have a beautiful wood case. Man. There's a whole market. Maybe we should start doing that. I'm gonna buy a laser head. Let's do it. I'm gonna buy a laser cutter.
Okay.
We'll just vent it out to the guy next door. He'll love that.
Yeah.
I seen one, $13,000, 140 watt laser on that bad boy.
Wow.
We can cut 1/8 inch steel with that. We can make steel part. Can you weld?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay. Anyway, sorry, got off track there, but yes, accessories for board games. Trading card games, of course, we talk with deck boxes, huge.
Yeah.
You see a guy who comes in, we'll use Gamer Joe, with his rubber banding cards, throws them on the table and starts playing. You know he doesn't really care about the game that much. I mean, he may like the game, and he gets excited when he gets to play, but he doesn't care.
Yeah.
Or you get the guy who comes in with the really nice deck box,
magnetic
sleeves.
lid.
Yeah, everything's just all nice and beautiful, and he throws down this custom play mat, with favorite art from one of his artists, know, and he's really into the game, and he's in for long haul. It comes in with custom tokens or custom dice for the game or whatever. Whatever you're gonna get, you're in for a good time.
Well, and the other thing too is being a tournament player for Magic for a long time.
Yep.
It used to be you had to sleeve your cards in the tournament,
right?
Because otherwise,
you can mark your cards.
You could mark your cards. If there's a little crease in it, you know what it is.
Right.
And not only that, but having opaque sleeves that you couldn't see through.
Right.
Because at one point in Magic, they came out with double-sided cards.
Yep. Yes, they did. I think they still do.
Yeah, they do.
I suppose you still have to have sleeves on your tournament cards.
Yeah.
Tournaments, yeah.
The only time it doesn't matter is draft, because they're brand new cards.
Right, you're getting...
But I used to sleeve my draft cards anyway. I actually hate playing without sleeved cards at this point.
Yeah.
It just feels foreign and awkward to me.
It feels weird to shuffle, too.
Oh, yeah. Shuffling becomes so much
easier. Because then all you know is if you're not using sleeves and you shuffle one way the wrong way, you can feel the cardboard grinding. You're like, oh, God. Yeah, no. Is there anything else we want to talk about for this subject? Or have we covered a lot?
The other thing I would recommend, if you're looking for a budget way to sort, go to Walmart, go to Bass Pro Shops, go to...
Heck, your local hardware store.
Yeah. And look for fishing tackle boxes.
Yeah. Tool boxes. Yeah, tackle boxes, tool boxes. What I did with Gloomhaven for the tokens was I bought a little box used for sorting nuts and bolts.
Yep.
It has little dividers you can move around for different sizes.
Yep.
I'm like, cost me $5.95 or something.
Citadel, I could have paid about $100 for an organizer for my army.
And I bought one of those.
For Warhammer.
Yep, I know.
Or I go to Walmart and I paid... What the hell was it? I think I paid $25.
Yeah, that'd probably be
for a fairly large toolbox.
Yep.
Well, then I spent maybe $10 on a hot glue gun and glue sticks.
Yep.
And about another $5 on some foam core. Yep. And about $8 on an X-Acto knife.
Right.
Now, I can make as many organized
trays
for my guys, multi-layered, with very little know-how, very little mechanical skill involved.
Yeah, no, it's a very good idea. It's very good and very clear. There's a lot of clever ways to do that stuff. I have 2, 3, 4 or 5 toolboxes in here just for that purpose. Mm-hmm. I do also have the expensive Citadel one too when I was dealing in Citadel, I decided to buy it because I wanted to try and sell it to people. Nobody had spent that much money on a freaking plastic box when you could, or like the guys who Commander decks fit in the Milwaukee.
Yeah, the Milwaukee toolbox.
And for the most part, it's the cheapest Milwaukee thing you can buy.
Yep, about
And
$35-$40.
Yeah, right. 35, or if you get them on sale, they're 20. Or I think these guys that bought them around here, they got them on sale one time. They were doing a blowout sale at Ace. I think they were like $24.99.
The ones that I bought for my Legion stuff.
Yep.
I believe they're. I don't remember what brand they are, but
What color were they?
yellow, black, and clear.
Could be DeWalt or could be
It's
the
DeWalt or
Stanley.
Stanley, I thought, but I think it's a different one.
Okay, so yeah, whichever though.
But I paid $25 at Lowe's, and
Right.
my whole Legion army fits in there. I can organize everything
So
perfectly.
stupid. Yeah,
I can throw it across the freaking road. It could
Right.
tumble and roll, and nothing's going to get damaged.
Yeah, no, exactly. Exactly. In fact, I think one of the guys in here, Gamer J again, but we'll call him Gamer Joe. I think he actually took his Milwaukee box once and ran it over just to prove that.
Yeah?
Yeah, the guy who works down at Titan.
Yep.
Yeah. I think he did that once because I think everybody was calling him out on it. He's like, "Oh, I bought this, and this is the toughest box, and prove it." So I think he took his Dodge Dakota, drove right over it, and the box was fine. Like,
Nice.
whatever. That's so stupid. I wouldn't do that with my cards, but good ideas. So anyway, yeah, I think we've given you a lot of ideas on
Organization.
accessorizing and organizing your board games. I tell you what, it's worth every penny that you put into it. I promise you will be happy with when you do it. And then if you ever do resell, whether it's your trading card games, your board games, whatever, someone's willing to pay up a lot more.
Yeah.
To have that all pre-done for them.
Yep.
So anyway, anything else to add?
That's all I got.
All right, we're out of here.